Hello everyone, welcome to Commerce Net Scholars. I hope you all are perfectly fit and fine and you are being regular with the studies. In today's video, we'll basically discuss the comparison or the differences between the MRTP Act 1969 and the Competition Act 2002. We'll understand what were the different provisions under the MRTP Act 1969 and what were the major drawbacks due to which this act was repealed and Competition Act 2002 was enacted. At the same time, we'll discuss about the provisions and basic features of the Competition Act 2002. So let's start with today's video, but before starting, as you all know, a reminder for you all, watch the video till the end, give it a like if you really like the video, share it with your friends as much as possible and subscribe the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Let's proceed with today's video and understand first about the MRTP Act. Talking about the MRTP Act, MRTP stands for Monopolies Restrictive Trade Practices Act. The Monopolies Restrictive Trade Practices Act 1969 brought into force from 1st June 1970. When was it brought into force? 1st June 1970. Although the act was passed in 1969, but the act was actually enforced on 1st June 1970. Was a very common controversial piece of legislation. Now why it was controversial, we'll understand further. The principal objectives of the MRTP, which extends to the whole of India except to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, because then it was not considered as the part of India. The objectives were prevention of concentration of economic power to the common detriment and control of monopolistic, restrictive and unfair trade practices which are prejudicial to public interest. Whatever competition, whatever restrictions were to be regulated for the monopolies, this act was passed to sort out that particular purpose. So basically MRTP Act was more of a controversial act which somewhere restricted the enterprises to adopt certain trade practices, and that feeling of free competition was not present, which ultimately somewhere violated the needs of the customer. So hence this act has to be changed, this act had to be modified, which ultimately resulted to the formation, to the enactment of the Competition Act 2002. Now let's understand what were the major drawbacks of the MRTP Act. First drawback was poorly resourced commission. The commission that was set up to formulate this act was short, was short of the information that it needed to process the further information, and whatever suggestions it had given, whatever resources it needed to give out the forward suggestions, they were not sufficient enough. Next, inadequacy in dealing effectively with anti-competitive practices due to lack of definitions, cumbersome procedures and scarce resources. Whatever definitions were given under MRTP Act, they were not very clear, they were not very precise, which created a lot of confusion among the industries. Again, at the same time, the procedures that were entailed in the MRTP Act were very confusing and created a lot of chaos, and whatever resources that were available as per the MRTP Act to the industries was also very scarce, which limited their production and services. Next, absence of specification of identifiable anti-competition practices. Now, what are the anti-competition practices that were to be adopted? That was not at all specific in the Act. Everything was just in a state of confusion and chaos. And the last drawback was anti-competition practices like cartels, predatory pricing, rigging, etc. are not specifically mentioned in the MRTP Act. Now these were the practices that were referred to as the anti-competition practices, which somewhere were against the competition that was prevailing in the market, so that firms do not enter into cutthroat competition and violate the needs of each other. Now let's proceed towards the Competition Act 2002. A new law called Competition Act 2002 has been enacted to replace the extant law MRTP Act 1969. So MRTP Act 1969 was repealed and a new act, a new legislation was formed, which was referred to as the Competition Act 2002. The new law has been amended on 10th September 2007 by the Parliament. So this was the latest amendment that you have as for Competition Act 2002. It was amended on 10th of September 2007 by the Parliament. Third point says, an act to provide, keeping in view of the economic development of the country, for the establishment of a commission to prevent practices having adverse effect on competition. Obviously, the practices that would have adverse effect on the competition, that were to be stopped, which ultimately was possible due to the enactment of the Competition Act 2002. To promote and sustain competition in markets, which is very necessary to have competition in the market, because only then the firms have that feeling, or that you can say initiative of performing better, providing better products and services to the consumers, so that they can excel and grow in the market. To protect the interests of consumers, but obvious, and to ensure freedom of trade carried on by other participants in market. This does not mean that since you are a dominant firm, you are earning better profits, you have covered a large market segment, so you are going to rule the market. Equal opportunities must be provided for the new entrants in the market as well. So freedom of trade was provided to the new entrants also, and for matters connected therewith and incidental thereto. Whatever other matters are connected to the whether it is about the promotion or sustenance of the competition, or providing assistance to the new firms, any matter related to these incidents were also covered under the Competition Act 2002. Next, the objectives of Competition Act 2002 are very important. The first one says to promote and sustain competition in markets, which is very necessary for a firm to grow and provide better products and services to the customers. Next, to prevent practices having adverse effect on competition. Whatever practices that are having an adverse effect on competition, that is adopting any illegal means to excel in the market, violating the rights and needs of the customers, providing them inadequate products, a lot of fraudulent practices are involved. So all those practices were to be stopped, so that there is no adverse effect on the competition in the economy. To protect the interests of the consumers. Whatever consumers you have who are consuming your product or who are availing your services, you need to protect the interests and rights of those consumers. So this was made sure by the enactment of the Competition Act 2002, and to ensure freedom of trade. Whatever trade practices have been adopted in the country, the Competition Act makes it possible to have the freedom of trade, whether we are talking about the new market entrants or we are talking about the existing firms in the market. Now, the main features that we need to understand about the Competition Act 2002, that certain sections are there which define certain elements of the competition that you need to remember, that I have jotted out in the form of points so that you can remember it in a better way. The first section goes on like Section 3, which has the details about the anti-competitive practices that are to be adopted. Section 4 has abuse of dominance. If a firm is in a dominant position in the economy, if the firm is earning better profits in comparison to other firms in the market, is ruling the market in some sort, this does not mean that the firm is going to exploit other firms in the market or exploit the new entrants in the market. So all that is mentioned in the Section 4 of the Competition Act 2002, that is the abuse of dominance. Third is the mergers and acquisitions, which is mentioned in Section 5 and 6. Whatever mergers and acquisitions will be taking place in the economy is exclusively defined in Section 5 and 6 of the Competition Act 2002. And competition advocacy, Section 49, that why competition is important in the economy is mentioned in the Section 49 of Competition Act 2002, which covers the scope of competition advocacy. So I just hope MRTP Act and Competition Act is clear to you all, the basic features, the basic need as for which Competition Act was established, and what were the basic drawbacks that MRTP Act has. So that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day. Next video we'll have in the next topic. Again a reminder, if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, subscribe it right now.